Now let's talk about agents in this type of market. How do you succeed? Especially new real estate agents. 2023, you just got your license. How do you succeed? I would say do the work, right? Do the work. Be consistent and do the work. So showing up one day out of a month is not going to be good enough. Trust the process. Don't be a chaser of, don't have this, what they call it, shiny object syndrome. Meaning you hear this is working, you're doing it. You hear that is working, you're doing it. Give it at least a year. Find something that is proven. Talk to somebody with experience. What has been proven, and give it a year. Work on it and just see where the chips may fall. But I would say if you're brand new getting into the real estate business, don't quit your day job right now. If you have a day job, don't quit your day job. That's just honest truth. The good thing about a market like this, one thing I have heard when talking to some sellers, potential sellers, they say, what are you going to do as an agent? What are you going to do for me? The last agent, especially expired listings, the last agent came, put a lock on my door and left. I can put a lock on my door and I have to pay $20,000 in commission. So do the work. If you get a listing, show that client that you're actually going to work to sell their property. Do open houses. Talk to the neighbors. Talk to people. Run ads for this person. Let them see that you're doing things that they wouldn't be able to do. And also, when you negotiate, try to make sure your client nets the most possible that they can for a property. You don't want somebody to sell their house on their own and make just as much as when you sell it for them. You have to make a difference. And also, just the grind. Even if that person doesn't see it, when the neighbors see how you hustle for them, the saying goes, when one house sell in a cul-de-sac, maybe 2 or 3 more sell in that neighborhood. When neighbors hear, hey, that person just sold their house for X amount of dollars, the rest try to see if they can get something out of theirs. That's just how it works. So when the neighbors see open houses, they see the foot traffic that you can generate. Just be a tad bit above the crowd. So the thing goes like, I give another sports analogy, right? The Randy Moss and Jerry Rice story. I was asking somebody I knew, a younger guy, if he knew about some. We were doing some just mentoring and just talking together, and just tips of success, right? And this is outside of real estate. But he was asking, he's a manager and he was trying to figure things out, newly promoted. And I asked him, do you know who Randy Moss is or Jerry Rice? He said no. Well, he's a baseball guy and not so much a football guy. That's how young he is. Those are not household names for him. And he said no. And I gave him a backstory. Randy Moss ran a 4.2. Jerry Rice, what was it, a 4.4 or 4.6? I think a 4.6. Randy Moss a lot slower than Jerry Rice, a lot shorter. I think 6 feet or 5'11", I'm not sure. Maybe 6 feet or 6'2", I don't know. 6 feet, I guess. Randy Moss was like 6'4", I believe. A lot slower, a lot shorter. Could not jump as high as Randy Moss. When you look at individual seasons, Randy Moss had the biggest individual season compared to those two. But career-wise, nobody even thinks about saying Randy Moss is the greatest receiver ever. It's always Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice was what, a 6th round draft pick or something of the sort. Randy Moss went pretty high at, national news even when he was in college. So one had the talent, the other one had the work ethic. you know. And when it was all said and done, the person that consistently worked surpassed the person that was just naturally gifted. And that's the type of market we're in now as an agent. Some people may have the gift of gab, can talk, can negotiate, may have all the resources. But if you're willing to work, I think you can still make it happen. And also I'll say, do what other agents are not willing to do, right? And what is that? Prospecting. Prospect. The most attention I've received from clients has not been on the phone. I know you see it a lot on YouTube and all these other social medias, where they all doing the outbound phone calls. I've had some conversations, a few of them kind of gained some traction. But I tell you this much, whenever I door knock, I get solid leads. Some of them you gotta take time, right? It takes time for them to mature, but when I door knock, I speak to somebody that says, hey, I'm glad you stopped by. I plan on selling in a year or two. I'm gonna put, a lot of you not, maybe 2 weeks ago, last week, door knocking, and the lady said, I'm gonna put your business card right on my refrigerator. You plan on selling in a year or two. So now I asked her name. She gave me first name, last name. Guess what I did on my way out of the driveway? I looked at the mailbox. When I was driving off the street, I looked at the street address. Wrote the mailbox number, so that's the address, the number of the building and the street it's on. Wrote the lady's first and last name. So now what I have to do is occasionally follow up, right? You don't want to overwhelm them, but following up within that 1 year and 2 year. You don't want to go out of mind, out of sight, out of mind. I know she's going to hopefully keep the business card on the refrigerator, but if she also hears from you periodically, like happy 4th of July, happy Memorial's Day, happy Thanksgiving, hey, this is what the market is doing. I was in the neighborhood showing a property. I just thought I'll stop by. You now become somebody they know, and then the go-to person. So do the work. Door knocking is where it's at for me. If you ask me, I think one day I went door knocking on an expired listing. I went to the house. The lady said, hey, I'm not selling anymore. Maybe later. I'll keep your business card, thank you. I'm walking down her steps. When I looked across the street, for sale by owner. Went to the door. Nobody's in the house. The lady left her phone number there. I called her. Turns out she lives in Delaware, which is a border state with Maryland. Oh, that's my father's house. He passed away. I'm trying to sell it. You know, so I say all that to say, you can't get that from phone prospecting. There's just something about going out there that is more than sitting in the house. Just when you're out there, you become more successful. You engage more with people. This is a people business, you know. So face-to-face beats anything, quite frankly. I send a lot of mails out. I do a lot of farming in the area. And I run ads and everything on social media and so on. But face-to-face just gets a whole lot more traction. That's what I've noticed. So that's my tip for new agents. This is a kill what you eat, as they say. Hunter-gatherer type of business. This is not a 9 to 5. If you don't get business, you're not going to make money. So building your own business. If you are self-driven, you're going to succeed if you can weather the storm, because the market is toning down now. So if you have a source of income until your business picks up, it's a great time to become an agent. But if this is all you're banking on, I don't think this is the right business for you at the moment. Things are pretty slow. You need to have something else to stand on while still being able to service clients and still being able to prospect. I almost forgot about this. I had an RVP, original vice president at a different company. He came and he was talking to us managers then, and he said, chase the big rocks. Like, chase the big rocks? What are you talking about? He said, chase the big rocks. What are your KPIs, key performance indicators? What are the things that are going to make you succeed? What is the biggest goal? Chase the big rocks. You can't get it all. Take the big rocks and not the little ones. Go for the big wins. So the big win for a real estate agent is prospecting. Prospecting, right? When you wake up, do the most important thing. People say, I don't know how true this is, but 20% of the work yields 80% of the results. So when you got a list of things to do, 10 things to do, only 2 of those things really can give you optimal results. I haven't watched an interview, I think it was Elon Musk, and they asked him, how long do you sleep for? He said, I think either how long do you sleep for, how long do you work for? But he actually said he gets enough sleep and he doesn't believe in too long of working. I think I forgot which one. But in essence, you don't get that much more productive after a certain time. I think I was told maybe after 6 hours of either studying or working, you're not as productive. Or less sleep doesn't actually mean more productivity. So when you wake up, do the thing that is going to make you money, which is prospecting, getting a pipeline. I know websites are good. A lot of things are good for a real estate agent. Taking a nice profile picture is good. All these meetings are great, but none of those are revenue generating activities. Focus on revenue generating activities, which is social media, video, whatever. Posting on your social media, handing out flyers, business cards, door knocking, phone prospecting, calling people on your sphere of influence, people that you know already that you have on your phone, letting them spread the word out about your business because you are a business, right? Focus on that rather than endless meetings. It's always good. Don't get it wrong. As you saw, I just went through a whole bunch of stats throughout this podcast, right, about the market. I have to know the market because when I talk to somebody and some other agent comes to talk to that person, if that other agent doesn't do as much research as I have done where I can speak to my market, guess what? I stand levels above, right? You get to look better. So know your market so you speak as a professional. Don't take the shortcuts, but focus on the big rocks, which is revenue generating activities. If it's showing a buyer a house, probe that buyer. Guess what? I had a family member wanting me to look into this house, look into that house, look into this. I already sent him to my lender. The lender qualified that family member for X amount of dollars, and I just knew in the back of my mind, dude, you got to get your credit up, your income up, or get somebody else to sign for you. As long as you don't have that, I still talk to him, but I'm not about to be. And one day I had to be blunt. I say, look, man, I don't want to keep showing you 100 houses knowing you're not going to be able to afford it. So that's the thing with a buyer. At least I can talk to that person. We're family and we're close. I can just be realistic. You may not want to tell that to a client, but you just want to get that information so you know not to waste your time with that buyer. I hate to say it, but get them pre-qualified, see if they can afford a house they want to look at, and see how much, how eager they are to move. Because I know people who got great credit are renting, but they're not eager to move right now. They may be under a lease, may not want to change location, whatever the reason is, they don't want to move, yet they want to see 10 houses. It's a waste of time. And your time is money. Put your time on revenue generating activities. You don't want to be going from house showing to house showing to house showing. It's like you're a tour guide, you know, and you don't get paid for it. You know, you're wasting gas money and the person is not a buyer. So you're gonna have renters that don't have good credit, want to see 10 apartments and can't rent one. Wasted your time, because a 30-minute drive back and forth, gas, nothing comes out of it, right? So focus on and before you go around showing buyers a million houses, make sure that buyer is a qualified buyer. I definitely do showings, but I make sure that buyer is serious, wants to buy. And you can tell when a buyer, you're sending to buy houses, and they're also sending you some houses like they found off Zillow, Redfin, you know. So you know this person wants to move, they're eager, their credit is checked, they've been pre-approved, they got the money, got the down payment, let's go. I could show you a million houses all day. You know, because at the end of the day, when that commission comes in, it's going to be worth my time. Right? I know this person is ready to go. But I've shown how, you know, I made those mistakes when I first got in. People want to see houses. You go here and there, you hear nothing back from them. It's good. And actually, one of those people that I showed maybe 6 houses, they actually referred me to somebody else who also referred me to, like, their children. None of those deals actually closed, but these are now people I have contact with. So over time, if I stay engaged with them, who knows where that may fall. At the end of the day, I got the information and they gave me a good review, so it's okay. Not, you know, but don't waste your time too much on people that are not ready to go. You know, because you have to generate money. It's like you open a business, it doesn't generate any income, you're going to go bankrupt at the end of the day. You're going to close the business, right? So focus on activities that will generate revenue. All right, do the work. And also, don't put all your eggs in one basket for right now. The market is rough. Not to say don't get in. Get in if you got the drive. Are you self-driven? Can you sustain this? Because you do have fees you got to pay. Sometimes even monthly, quarterly, annual fees, right, to different organizations. So, do you have that kind of money to be able to do that without making any money, right? And do you have the patience to build? Or if you don't sell a house in 1 or 2 months, are you going to quit? Here's the beauty. I almost missed this. I was going to talk about it. I was talking to a seller, and as I mentioned, the seller said, you put a lock on my door and you leave. That's all you do, you agents. You know, and I hate to say this, he said, I'm in sales. This is what the gentleman told me. He said, I'm in sales. He said, but the real estate industry is the lowest in the sales business. And that's sad. At the end of the day, after like a couple weeks of talking to him, he said, look, I stay really far from where you stay and where your office is. I wouldn't be able to work with you, but I do appreciate your professionalism, right? He said, I see you really care. He saw the mail I sent him. I sent him a handwritten mail. I followed up multiple times. I gave him good information, and I wasn't too hawkish, right? And I'm glad he got to see that some of us really care about the business. Is not just about getting the commission. You got to care about taking care of people. And everybody just sees the commission check and they all want it, but they don't know about customer service. And guess what he said? He said, the market is bad right now, and it's going to wash away. No, not picking on soccer moms. It's going to wash away the soccer moms and all the part-time, what did he say? Part-time retail workers, something along the line. So you got people working, no knock on somebody who is hustling at a job here while trying to build a real estate business. You know, most of us start that way, right? No knock on that. If you are going to be dedicated, fine. But the industry kind of just fell into a whole bunch of people just wanting commission, and nobody cares about being a professional. Nobody cares about taking care of people anymore. So the good thing about a bad market, it just washes all those people around. If you don't care, if you don't have the drive, if you don't have the network, don't have the resources, this is good. The industry is just gonna wash people out. You see people at brokerages, they come, they don't last that long, they're gone, right? So that's the good thing about this market. Inevitably, it kind of corrects itself to where a whole bunch of mediocre agents are just gonna not survive, and only those that are high performers or those that have the resources are gonna sustain and stick around. Well, I've been going on for a while, over an hour, but I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode of your real estate podcast. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe wherever you're getting this from, wherever you may find you may get your podcast. All right, thanks for watching, and have a blessed day.